here they are. So it's for Crash Dummies. See, so I remember them. This guy has a Crash Dummies toy review on his toys and collectibles. Just what I remember. Yeah. So I had a few of them. I think I had him and not this guy, it was another guy. Had like a orange, whatever kind of outfit he had on. But I had a few of these, and I had the vehicles. I wish I had them now.
Hey, what's up? It is Cody from the Keepers of Nerd. How y'all doing? In case you haven't seen, we've had several videos for shorts of Crash Dummies. And today I want to take you on a wild adventure.
His eyes are too small for his head. No, about that.
In the world of all these weird, anthropomorphic, crazy things. And unfortunately, I think even on YouTube, the idea is, it sounds like we're saying something terrible by saying Crash Dummy, like we're calling somebody else. And all they are is legit the very thing that we have used. The entire line of toy was simply that. It was just...
I don't mean to cut him off, but I did the reaction to the old Crash Dummy videos the other day. The commercial. And he's like... what did he say? He's I forgot the guy's name. He said... He's like, we don't wear seatbelts. We're dummies. I was like, yeah, okay, that's right. That's why you smash up into the wall and lose your head. Oh, boy. He said, that's 2 days old and it's still funny. He said, what the hell did he said something about, you don't do that. Oh, he said, when you drive, he's like, if I had half a brain, I'd be buckled up. He's like, bumper breath, you do have half a brain. Or something like that. It was funny.
Designed to be crash test dummies, to have fun, literally wrecking.
Guy's eyes are still too small for his head, though.
Into walls and just completely obliterating them.
I never seen that one
this
before.
Guy has had his arms put on the wrong sides. And so these things are fascinating because they tell an interesting story. And you know what? We're going to go straight up to the Wikipedia page because it's kind of funny to see what they have to say about it. And I personally own these. And actually, these newer generation models are actually some of my brothers. I'd stopped buying from the set when they changed. And so the original type stuff is mine. And unfortunately, there's a sad story right here because... we did the thing that kids should do. We played with them. We actually played with them. And so the original line of Crash Dummies, according to the Wikipedia page, was early 1991.
Yeah,
and so
early 90s, I remember.
They had Vince and Larry, and
Vince and Larry
was a Generation 1 Crash Dummy. I am very proud to own it. In fact, if you can look right here, his neck was actually broken for quite a while. And so for the longest time, his neck would not deploy. And even now, as you can see, it doesn't really work fully, but we got it glued together and re-strapped back off. But as you can see down in there, if it focuses, we had to claw back in there because as kids, we just glued him back together and said he's good enough. But he is still workable, and as you can tell, he's seen a lot of car wrecks and motorcycle wrecks, and Daryl's been through a lot.
He's beat to hell.
And so I'm very proud to still own him, but... As you can see, he barely holds together because the original Gen 1,
he's a dummy, of course. He holds together
very well, but I'm so happy to have him. One of the ones that was built well, and I'm still so impressed by him, is Spare Tire.
Yeah, I didn't have
Spare Tire was, again, I believe he came with the Crash Chopper, so he came with the motorcycle, if my memory serves, or at least the sidecar. And so I'll show you the sidecar right here. This is the sidecar and the motorcycle it attaches to. And we'll give some examples here. But this thing is just, they're an amazing toy from the 90s that I am shocked that they ever came out. But Spare Tire, when
the commercial was so popular,
still works extremely well. His eyes shoot out, his not ears but look like ears shoot out, and actually you can extend them slightly, and his tongue also extends slightly as well. So, just a really funny little thing. And these Gen 1s were my favorites just because they lasted so long, and Spare Tire held up so well. But there were also, from Generation 1, Pit Stop, I never saw that one, Hubcat, and Bumper. So we've got Hubcat right here, and Hubcat literally just does this. I don't know what's the purpose here, but kind of just goofy silliness. And Bumper, I was always in love with Bumper because we just always thought it really funny, especially because you could literally be like, Ha ha ha, he's peeing. You know, and just that funny thing with it. But really neat concept, a great little toy. And like the target dog has the little different eye. And I think we had, I believe it was Larry, student driver car. And I have the student driver car. And unfortunately, I think we had Larry, but what's left of him is just some legs. And you can see here on Bull, I think we had the legs and maybe a few arm pieces left, because unfortunately several of the Gen 1s and the Generation 2s as well, such as Spin right here, as you can see, they were very much a spring-loaded mechanism. You can see down in there that there's 2 springs, and so you push down into that and connect him, and oftentimes these plastic pieces, especially when you were wrecking them and hitting them really hard, would just get absolutely destroyed. And so it was unfortunate, but let's be real. They were a toy, and they had hours and hours of fun. When you saw that, it literally just pops out in the slightest touch. But the Gen 1s and Gen 2s had a lot of these where there would be these 2 buttons right here on the chest.
In the chest.
And when you hit them, he would just explode. And sometimes in this one, unfortunately, his head doesn't even work right, because that's what we found would happen. Unfortunately, what we did.
It sounds perfectly because it's a dummy. He said his head don't even work right. Damn. That's embarrassing. Woo! Oh, that's bringing back memories. And this guy here, I still can't get over it. A bull, his eyes are too small for his damn head. And that's something.
It was thrown away, and we started breaking, as you can see, some of the joint pieces. And so we replaced them with one of the other Generation 2's joints. And it's unfortunate because there is also, I couldn't even tell you which ones these are without like looking it up and doing some crazy amounts of research, but we do have some of the Generation 2s. Vince was the gray crash dummy, and we never had him, but we did have Larry, and I believe that's who this was. And unfortunately, that's what's left of him. And I don't know that there's a date on the leg itself. But ironically, on some of the early generations, especially, you can see right there, it says this is his right leg. And it's just in case you were confused. But Crash Dummies were fascinating because there were apparently 4 generations of them. And
there's going to be no Series 1 and Series 2. I don't remember the others.
Crash Dummies that were revived under the Hot Wheel brand. And I say that because I believe my brother actually got a hold of the Hot Wheels series, and the reason I say that is that right there was a sticker that was on it, and I'm guessing that was a part of this generation. And so these may very well be like a Generation 5 thing. I'm not 100% sure on them. So it's rather interesting to see the changes, because this is more like souped up, cool motorcycle rather than the original series. Their motorcycle was old school, like cop car kind of motorcycle stuff.
Yeah, it looks like it
and we didn't have all of the cars for the generations of stuff, but we did have the Gen 1 blue student driver car, and that just fell. We'll try to get a close up, and it's going to be.
Yep, there was the blue one and the red one. Yep.
We have the original thing. You see,
the test car,
student driver, student dummy on this right here.
Student dummy.
And so it's been through a lot, and as you can see, it's actually still got the sticker up here, which a lot of them usually peel off, but even this hood is not, it doesn't stay on anymore. But Crash Dummies were designed to wreck. They were everything about, oh, I forgot, another Generation 1 thing that we love to have. This is Skid the Kid. So we still have a few of the Generation 1 stuff. And Skid the Kid, he's still got his name, although it's starting to rub off on the D up there. But you really could wreck a baby. But ironically, it sounds silly and terrible, but at the same time, what's fascinating about it is this, that Crash Dummies were illustrating the very thing that they were designed to do: test vehicles to see if it would, if your dummy in this case would survive the crash, and therefore is the car or vehicle safe for humans. And so it's fascinating. It's an amazing thing. So another one, let's see right here. Bull is an interesting guy right here. He doesn't stay together.
He's a big dude.
We had to just piecemeal him because over time we destroyed, especially these types of bodies, because they just got wrecked so hard. And unfortunately, like the newer generation, I'm guessing these are the Hot Wheels or maybe the Protex. I'll have to do some more research, but sometimes you hit the buttons on them and they, like this one actually falls apart.
Oh, wow.
But it's not It's just not to the same level as the spring-loaded, but that was, honestly, that's the most impressive of that generation.
He split into pieces.
Bull, on this case, he doesn't do anything. The only thing that he has, actually, is a waist that resets itself, but it actually, as you can see, it splits apart as he flexes. And so his design was he could, like, hit stuff. So he was like the reverse crash test dummy. But Bull, let's see.
Those eyes are small as hell.
Bull in Pro-Tech suit, flip over truck. I don't see Bull at all. I don't know. There's Bull in the Pro-Tech suit for Generation 3. So, and Generation 3 was 1993. Generation 2 was 1991 in the late part of it.
So I did have one for their third set.
So maybe he was Generation 3 in these Pro-Tech suits, which is kind of interesting to note. And I don't remember what his actual arms were, if that was actually the case, and they were just differently shaped or not.
I remember the series, I guess. The one I'm thinking of is...
I don't remember.
91 and 93.
So he was one of the last ones that I got a hold of. And unfortunately, with these newer generations, they don't have the names printed on the crash dummy itself, because we've got several. We've got a blue, green, and reds of this generation. And I'm not sure exactly which generations they are, but they did, I believe, come with the Hot Wheels brand, so I'm guessing they were even Generation 5, actually, all the way up in 1998, because we remember that they got revived, and it's pretty interesting that they brought it back, but it wasn't quite in the same way. And so Crash Dummies was an amazing toy, and I want to just illustrate exactly what all that these toys did. And so first off, let me see what generation this was. I have the lawnmower with whack, and so I'm guessing Crash lawnmower with whack. So that's Generation 2. It says Skid the Kid with it, but that doesn't make any sense at all. And so I have the Crash lawnmower. I didn't have everything because it got crazy. Apparently Crash lawnmower with whack may have been Gen 1, and in fact came with hubcap and bumper, the cat and dog. And so what you've got here is an amazing little toy that it actually still works really, really well. So if I push this, I'm going to try and give you space. It shoots off the engine pieces. You can see some of the paint chipping off, but then it causes this to rear back and hit the crash dummy in the chest just to make them pop and explode and do their silliness. And toys like that, it's amazing. But one of the coolest parts about it was things like this, where they had this was weird. This was the most bizarre piece that the toy line had. Because what this did was, you'd literally strap your crash dummy to the table here. We'll see if we can still get him, because it was adjustable and all this stuff. And, I mean, this is literally like torture device. Very, very, very strange. And poor Daryl.
About torturing the poor guy.
He's seen many a thing, and he's about to see one more. And so, ironically, what you would do with this is it would actually adjust, and you would adjust the crash dummy until it pulled him apart, and vice versa. Like a very, very strange toy. And so he would pop out.
Yeah, that is a bit much.
So old, though,
the hell
doesn't stay together to keep it. But it was fascinating that here's all this crash test equipment, and then we're literally just going to strap them to an ancient medieval torture device and pull them apart. I think they kind of just lost their minds and went, you know what, let's just be silly and let's put them on there. But unfortunately, as you can see, this has seen better days, and the plastic piece that it connected to its base with has lodged in there and broken off. We were rough on these things, and rightfully so, because this toy was it was glorious. And let's put Spare Tire and Skid the Kid, because those are, and Daryl, they are the top pieces that are left here. And also Spin, which is a Generation 2 from the late 91 and into 92. And Spin apparently came with student driver car with axle. And so it's possible I got him from having the car in Generation 2, but I think I had Larry from Generation 1, so I'm not sure. We had a student driver car with axle. I'm going to have to look up exactly which one axle is. But we'll talk a little bit further about this as well, because these are fascinating. I'm going to look up Axel and see which one he was. Axel was the green crash dummy. And so he is, this is what we have left of Axel, unfortunately, is a few pieces like this.
Yeah, that's the.
And so Axel didn't.
That's the thing that's frustrating about those toys. The pieces get lost easy. Because back then, parents would get pissed off. They stepped because these like see how it's split in half. Those sharp ass toys. You step your foot on that was it. Oh, them things were sharp. It may as well be a thumbtack you're stepping on. 'Cause them things were sharp as hell. And you didn't have they didn't use back then. I guess they used little baggies and stuff to separate the pieces and stuff. Or they had them in some went in the toy box, some went in the garbage. Some just got lost. So, but yeah, I remember I had a few of those, and those ones that looked like junk bots. He said Piston Head or whatever his name was, and another guy. He had like a carburetor or a motor attachment for a head or something like that back in the day.
Oh, that reminds me. Yeah, I still have his head with the glasses for Axel. He actually had a nerdy look to him, which was really funny, but unfortunately his body didn't survive very long. So I'm not really sure which crash car we have, because I don't know. They both look like they seem similar. So let's talk about this thing for a little bit. This was a part of a large play set that they had, and you can see it has got a handle and everything, and what you would do is literally squeeze that handle and send a crash dummy flying with a chair that you could equip right here in these bracketed sections. And so everything about crash dummies was designed for pure wreckage. And that chair we still have today. Can't find it right now, but let's illustrate a little further, because their major toy line that they had a large, massive plastic base, and inside of it was this and several other panels as well, and you can put the
impact
chamber device there as well. You'll notice right here these two knobs. It was 4 rubber band things that came with it, and you would strap a chair or something and strap a crash dummy to this and ram them with a car. And so what's really cool about this is actually a button, and not just a button. It actually had an interaction with the impact meter, and it would go all the way up here, and this is your reset button. And so when you would hit this button, it would actually tell you how hard you hit, and then you could actually reset it back down to do it again. And so, rare.
A lot of those places I don't remember.
Motorcycle, and
I just remember the cars. I think the motorcycle
hit a crash dummy. So this toy, honestly, it held up really well considering what happened to it and what we put it through. Because sometimes we were rearing back and just almost throwing these things at the crash test meter. And it's amazing how well this thing has held up. And you can even look on the back. It's just stayed together. And they got beat and beat and beat, and yet continued. And so the car, again, it's hard to really show with the camera, and I apologize, but we're gonna take off the top for a second. This car is fascinating, and we'll show a little bit of the explosion here, because it actually has seat belts, and the seat belt would then land in here, and so you strap there and then have a third connection point up here. So you could actually strap your crash dummies in to see how they would do with their impact. But what was really neat was the doors could come off. The entire roof, it was designed for this to pop out, and the reason that crash sticker is there is because the passenger, if you'll notice, it is different than the driver's seat.
He's got no seat belt.
It is designed to actually shoot out and throw the crash dummy through the wall. And so you'll notice here, this is all designed to crunch. The wheels have gotten a little bit jankety over the years. But when you hit this thing, what's interesting is there's a lot, and there's even an airbag in this thing.
Wow, nobody having an airbag.
Set. So now it is set. You can see it down in there. The airbag actually, whenever you push this, see if we can get both here. The airbag will deploy. And you can see it's definitely discolored from over years of use and wear and tear, and this will shoot out. There is a section down there that pops this out, and so the car itself in the front deploys, and the wheels, as long as they're in the right spot, are designed to shoot out, and this one actually shot off on the other side. And it's just another spring-loaded thing that they come out. And unfortunately, in this case, this one will refuse to come out ever. So, and that's the idea with all of these toys, was just pure silliness, and you could reset these things, because all it was pushing this back down and locking it in place, and then again locking, and you could do this and see if it clicks. And it clicked in there. Unfortunately, you can't really hear it, but if you do it again, same thing, which is really amazing. So everything about this was designed for reusability, and it's kind of impressive all the detail that went into it.
But never had the crash.
I
the
wish
crash
in some
car.
ways that we could bring stuff like this back, because
The red
this
one
is a generation
or the green
that
one. I mean the red one or the blue one.
just we don't understand today. And so examples like this motorcycle, the button was right here underneath the wheel, and so it was designed for this to shoot up, launching people forward. It would actually dislodge the sidecar. The sidecar comes apart in two pieces, and this flies apart as well. The windshield actually came off whenever the wheel hit it from the other thing. And so this is all sorts of crazy. And again, I'll try to show you a little bit of it. And when you're ramming something, it's designed for this to completely explode. And as you see, the chair comes out, this comes apart. It's all designed to be reset and done again. And that beautiful old awesome logo of Vince and Larry. And so this is a toy that, do I know everything about it? No, by no means, because we stopped collecting after the first generation, and really the second primarily. And so unfortunately it just died off for us. But then apparently my brother did get into some of the more modern stuff as well, and I don't remember him getting these things. And these were oh there's a date here, let's see, 2003 Mattel.
Wow.
2003 Mattel.
So where do you get
So
98
let's see
from?
exactly what we're talking about here. 2003 Mattel Hot Wheels. Mattel revived the Crash Dummies line under the Hot Wheels toy brand. So this is apparently from 2003, and it was in 1998 it was revived, so this would be under the Generation really 5 Hot Wheels series of Crash Dummies. So anyway, what I really want to know is, what is your favorite toy from growing up, and do you still have it? Do you still do you try to collect it now? Do you have something about it that you just continue to go for and look at and try to find? Honestly, look at that. He still has his little joint that keeps it in place. And I love the shortness of spare tire and the pot belly for no good reason. But really, what is it?
No
What's your
good
toy
reason.
that just makes you laugh, that you collect today as an adult because you just want to have it on a shelf somewhere to go, yeah, that was something from my childhood that did so well, did so amazing. What is it? Let me know in the comments below. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
That was good. So, but yeah, I remember having a few of those figures. I never had the wish I could have had the car. Try to find it. I remember. I think I had Bull, and it's coming back to me a little bit. The dude, we press the button and his neck goes up, and I had like a couple others. I had two of the bad guys. We say Piston Head or whatever his name was, and there was another guy. 3 or 4 bad guys. I can't remember. I remember like I said, they sold them in the supermarket because I think it was around Christmas time. Every year they sell figures, and I think it's only around Christmas. Like one year they sold the wrestling figures. Then one year it was American Gladiators. Then one year it was the Crash Dummies. So, yeah.